Hi, hi, hi. Merry Christmas, my friends, and welcome to NutTube. And it's time to talk Willow, episode 5, I believe,
hmm
called Wildwood. I'm here with Cousin Cheeto. How you doing?
Doing good. I'm glad to be reviewing this episode that was my name in college. That's what they used to call me, Wildwood.
Wildwood, huh? Why would
Yeah.
they call you that?
I would not like to elaborate.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. So, I actually just generally, before we start going into some of the elements of this episode, I just think this was a little bit better. Maybe I'm just kind of getting used to the formula. I don't know. But it was a bit more acceptable, even though there was a lot of stupidness that still pisses me off, like the sort of music they tend to use. It's like it just doesn't work for me. This is a medieval setting, and they're trying to modernize it, Beverly 90210 it, and all of this shit, and I don't necessarily appreciate that. I don't know how you feel about all of that sort of stuff.
It doesn't bug me too much. It's definitely a noticeable form, not format, but you know what I mean, like style.
Hmm.
But no, I actually agree with you. I felt like this episode was better than previous episodes because episode three was episode three was a very very mixed bag, and then I believe last week's episode was. I'm trying to remember. Like, did I like it or not? I don't even remember. Um,
Last week's episode was in the castle.
yeah, I feel like I liked that episode better, and I felt like this episode felt like a slice of life episode almost. And as I
One
like,
direction to the other,
huh?
It went from one direction to another
No, just
direction.
slice of life. Just like kind of like, they're having fun. There's not too much at stake. I mean, yeah, in the beginning there's a little bit of tension when they get, like captured by the skull head people. I don't remember what they're called. But they I really felt like, this was the a very good slice of life episode. Um, and we got to see brownies. I love the brownies. I love those little French fuckers.
Yeah, yeah, me too. So I'm just gonna quickly fly through some of the elements of the episode, so we could just talk about the sort of stuff that either pisses me off or I generally appreciated it. One of the people I do like in this episode is Borneman, but we'll get to him in a second. First of all, we have the bad guys. They're chasing the good guys. It's the same motherfuckers who crashed the castle in the first episode, you know? And I'm sure we're
hmm
going to see those again, but they decide to, you call it Wildwood, I'm going to call it Mirkwood. Yeah, they decide to run in because this is the forest that can hallucinate you and make you see things and all of that. It's basically Mirkwood Forest, it really is, I thought there'd be a path for them to follow, just like in The Hobbit and all of that. Hey, get away from me. And yeah, but okay, so they go into Mirkwood and that's it. That's all they need to do. That's it. The bad guys are not going to follow them anymore. They're evil bad guys, and they are worried about a goddamn forest. Come on,
I mean, that's
Tito.
the
Come
same, but I mean,
on.
they did that in Lord of the Rings. I mean,
Not
remember
really.
the
Not really. No, the trolls they followed them into Fangon.
did the orcs follow them into Fangorn Forest?
In Fangon, yes,
I think
and
one of them did. I think one of them did, but all of them were like, "We don't want to go in the forest." Like, I think only one of them followed because he was
no, no,
brave
no.
enough.
What I remember is that when Aragon came across the pile of burning orcs and stuff, he realized that Pippin and Merry weren't dead. He followed their path and realized that they broke their bonds, and then they ran into the forest.
hmm
And then Gimli said, "Oh, who would run into there?" But it was just them at the time. It was just them three. And then we saw the flashbacks and how a couple of orcs came into the forest, and then the trees came alive and started killing them. And
I thought there was only one orc that followed them.
there was
But
one orc, well, okay, one orc. But the point is, other parts of Fangon was destroyed by Saruman
yeah,
as well. Remember? So anyway, that's that show. This is the copycat. So
I mean,
So,
there's significant comparisons, so might as well go into it.
Willow, he teaches Allura about the wand of destiny. That's what I'm going to call it.
Sure. The
And
wand of
then
crookedness.
yes, Harry Potter saying, and then the gang they finally get ambushed by a tribe that kind of worships General Kale from the movies. Like they're all wearing the skull masks and stuff like that. And then they all get put into separate cages. Willow and Grayson put in one cage. Elora and Kit get put in another, and Jade gets kept behind. And Willow in his cage, he meets the brownies. Like it just so happens the brownies we happen to be living there. Like what the fuck is? We talk about convenience. That's a convenience right there, don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it did seem very convenient that like I mean, but we knew that the brownies were in that forest because that's where they found them at originally in the
No, but
first.
the point is like they just you talk of this is just bad fan service. Like the brownies are a significant part of Willow, and they're just there just to for no reason other than for fan service. If you could have cut the brownies out in this show, but if you're gonna put the brownies, then put the goddamn brownies in the show proper, but they're with Willow the entire
And they
time.
can join the party. That's what I wanted. I wanted them to take some brownies with them, like one or two, kind of like in the original, but you know, have them join. Have one a brownie or something join the party. That's what I was hoping for. But
Exactly. But instead, what did they do? They just give him a leaf.
yeah, they
They
give them a
put the
leaf with like a map on it or something. I
I
don't.
got that map on it and all of that, and there you go. See you later. And I will get to this a bit more depth, but they end up escaping that cage. We don't even fucking see how. We don't see. Like
Yeah,
honestly, when you mentioned the editing is bad on this, that was a significant part. But we'll get to that a little bit. So Alora and Kit now this is the first time they've really had like a moment together in the show, just them two and you know and oh hello bun bun. Anyway, they have a moment together. They're talking about love and how Kit is kind of like pissed off with Alora for like just being so dopey when she's all she's done is roll around with her brother in the hay. She knows her brother's a bit of a player, so she thinks Alora's a bit naive. But after all that little talk, she pulls out the wand because Alora has stolen the wand from Willow, and then they blow the bloody doors off, as Michael Caine would say, and.
at least we saw how they got out of their cage.
But it's so stupid. Like they just look. I got a wand. I got a sword, and we're surrounded by guys, and nobody's trying to. It just looks so poorly executed.
Mm.
And I'm gonna.
It didn't bug me much. I mean, I do agree with you how Willow and Flash Thompson got out of the cage. That's a big plot hole right there. It's like, how did they get out? Like, what did they just leave the door unlocked? Like, so that is a good plot. That is a good point on a plot hole. But I mean, you know, I
Well,
don't know. At least we saw how they got out.
eventually, they get recaptured again because they're not intimidating whatsoever. And then Jade escapes her bonds, and then we get a fight between her and the leader. And the leader is just about to kill Jade, and she sees a tattoo on the back of the neck. And then he says, "You know what? I'm going to have a chat with this young lady. Take her to my quarters." And talking about the quarters, prior to all of this, Borderman's in those quarters. He's telling a false story about how he escaped from some adventure, some shenanigans he had a while back. And him and the tribal lady, they have a bit of a past.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bow chicka wow wow.
for sure, for sure. But back in the lady's quarters, she shows her tattoo. She's got a tattoo on her neck, just like
Oh,
Jade
it was on
has.
her neck. I thought it was somewhere else.
And
Or no, no,
any
she was showing Boromir here, or Boromir. Borman. her tattoo.
Well, Bowman would be none the wiser, but the point is, this lady, her name escapes me. She shows the tattoo, and by doing that, she tells Jay that yes, we are the daughters of General Gale. He had like 15 kids, I think, with the last two alive. Our dad was a proper whore. And
15 kids.
exactly, and so that basically makes them sisters. Okay, so when Willow and Graydon, when they finally escape, and next thing you know, they come across the tribe and they're all partying because the whole mood has changed now. Everybody's cool now.
So,
Yay!
so everybody just forgot that Willow and Flash Thompson were in
Yeah,
their cell. Like I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I'm like. What did they just forget that they were there? Like they were. They
yeah.
it seems like they had been partying for a little, like not a long time, but a little bit.
No, yeah, it should have been going. And so now everyone's cool. They're passing around this fruit called plums. I want some truth plums. Oh my goodness, that would be the best.
I don't want that, man.
Kitchi plays a drinking game, which reminded me of the drinking game Marion played in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Did you not see that
Yeah,
similarity?
I know.
I
Yeah.
mean, they were turning the glasses upside down and all of
Hmm.
that shit.
And you line them up along the table.
Definitely a callback. And Graydon, he shaves his mustache.
Oh,
And those guys, they troll him, man. They troll him. They go, yeah, like girls like the beard. Yeah, you're damn right they like the beard. You know what I mean? Yeah. But oh, thank you very much, Jiminy. So Graydon, he needs to clear the air with Alora and tells her, look, I just want to tell you that I'm okay now. You cured me, but Alora had that vision after doing what she did and saw Graydon kill her brother. So she mentions that. But Graydon mentioned as well, look, back then I was also possessed. That's why I did it. I'm not a bad guy. But, and Laura kind of accepts that, okay, but she's still a bit hesitant, just a bit wary of him. But as Graydon is walking around, I think this is probably the best acting Warwick Davis does in the show when he's drunk, because the drunk Warwick Davis is telling stories and stuff like that. He sees Graydon, he goes, "Hey, Graydon, come here, my man, sit down with me." And so they sit down, and
I actually thought his. I normally don't notice his bad acting as much as you guys do. I thought it was pretty bad. Like when he's talking to the brownies, like you can tell he's not talking to anything. You know what I mean? Like the
I
way he's
don't.
talking.
Yeah, I know. I just think when he's talking to the other humans, he looks quite the shit. It wasn't too bad talking to the brownies either. Like you feel like he has to have like an element of okay, we're having fun here a little bit. When he's trying to be serious, he sounds really deadpan. And there's nothing in his line, so to speak.
Yeah,
But the whole time, Willow is talking to Graydon, saying and Graydon thinks he's like the greatest sorcerer in the world. And Willow goes to him, look, that's just a lie. It's a fabricated story. If people really knew, they would know that I'm a talentless hack. And then boom, Adora walks in just as he says that. And she's disappointed with him. And he walks us, but
I
because
just
of the truth plums, you
I,
know.
I love I love I love Willow's look there though. He's just like oh crap. Like it's almost like he doesn't care. Like and I'm just like okay. I mean, I don't care either, but it was funny. I thought the way he responded to her like getting flustered and walking off, I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, me too. It was good. Like, yeah, he stepped in it, but there is, he's already proven to a degree that there is more to him than meets the eye. Just how much, it's just how
He has a
determined
blowtorch
and
on him. Like what?
no, but he did that. He did that. You shall not pass. In
Yeah,
episode
he
two
did
or
that
three.
too.
And he did that. He's got some skills. He knows how to make a plant grow, very quickly and all of that. He's got some skills.
I was about to say, I wouldn't say he's talentless, but I mean, is he like a Gandalf level wizard? No, but he's. Oh boy, here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Xanta, you get to have sex chat 69. That's all for you, Xanta.
Oh, thank you very much. I need it at my age, you know.
All right.
Okay, so the final scene we have is the heart to heart between Kit and Jade. Like they've eaten those plums, you know. They're gonna just have to say how they feel about each other. And Jade says, "I love you," to Kit, and he goes, "I want to kiss you now." And it looked like a really hot lesbian kiss was about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom, out of nowhere, the trolls they come in and grabs Kit, plucks her up from the ground and takes her into the sky. And then not just Kit as well, but other members of the tribe. They're being captured. It's almost like they're being hunted,
Mm-hmm.
by the
Waiting
trolls,
for the
and
right opportunity.
being like lassoed in and stuff like that. And then taken away. Bowman manages to kill one and says trolls. And then boom, cut the credits, end of the episode.
By the
So
way, if
we
you
get
dye your hair, you kind of do. You would look like Borman.
yes, I know, I can
Even that
understand.
beard.
Yes, I know, but I don't want to look like Bowman. I'm Santa Claus. I need
I
to
know.
look like me. But yeah, I don't look. They got Zam here. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? This needs to change. So let me quickly change that, huh?
Uh oh, Zam might have been sneaking out of the basement and trying to do some stuff.
How the hell do I change this shit?
Um,
So,
listen, Boomer, we'll call IT.
oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, a better episode for sure. I still think the show is pretty shit, but definitely a better episode. Like the film, look, do you remember this? Do you remember that? The member berries were out in play, I guess. Um, I don't know. Like, it can be a bit corny, this show. Corny is enter you, damn right.
It's
The
like a
show can be
constant state of being.
the show should be, I don't know. It's like maybe I'm expecting too much for this. I don't know. Maybe I'm expecting Lord of the Rings, and instead we got Lord of the Shinglings. It's just it's I don't know. It's just not necessarily as good as it should be. But anyway, I think it's time to mark it. What are you gonna give it, Tito?
Uh, I'm gonna give it a 7. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't that great, but it was a nice slice of life. As I said, as a lifelong Dragon Ball fan, I learned to appreciate slice of life episodes. Not every single episode has to be like crazy, like plot. Now, granted, this is the first season, so they probably do need to kind of keep it pretty high octane. Slice of life stuff should really come like second season, third season stuff. So I do kind of see where it's like this is a little bit, but it does tie into the plot. So it's a mixed bag. So I'm going to give it a 7.
I'm gonna give it a 6. It was okay, like no, it's just average, and something like this shouldn't be average. Kind of upsets me a little bit because, like we've had some okay stuff this year. Okay, not great. Okay stuff. Definitely peaked with Andor, for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, but now that with this show taking the baton from Andor and being our new show to watch, I don't necessarily. And we have um National Treasure as well, which I can't wait to talk about on Friday. But
I haven't watched this week's episode yet, but
I
yeah.
watched it. I watched it. But I do feel that like like what we're getting by the end of this year is not as good as some of the stuff that came before it, and it's a shame, really. Like these are properties that are very well remembered in the heart of people, and you got to do it justice. You can't just call yourself Willow and make shit. You can't just call yourself National Treasure and make shit. You got to really put a fucking effort in, But okay, we'll see how it goes.
And
Roll
that
on next week.
transitions into advertisement for the Golden Glasses Awards, which is going to be next Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 12 a.m. UK, I believe. So it'll technically be the 30th for you guys, technically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we're going to be doing our Golden Glasses Awards, where we will be awarding all of our awards. We've on YouTube here. If you go to our community page, we've got a bunch of fan voted things like best pet on stream right there. Um, we've got best Vince. The one that came out today was best Vince McMahon impersonator. So there's a couple options there. Best Zam reaction, best Ginger reaction. There's some other stuff, and I can't think of them off the top of my head. On top of that, there's the Stay Forever and Go Away Forever mystery awards, which you have to pick. There's movies on there, and so currently the one has to go away forever. So there's 5 movies on there that you have to pick, and one of them has to go away forever. And then the one coming out on Friday is going to be one that has to leave, or I'm sorry, one that has to stay forever. And so we'll talk about more about that at the Golden Glasses. But yeah, we've got a lot lined up for that. We've got a whole probably shenanigan filled night full of just fun and discussion, and I don't know. Maybe I'll drink some. Maybe we'll make it interesting. We'll have a drinking game while we're on stream. It'll be great. But hopefully a lot of the contributors on here are gonna show up for that. So I mean, I know that we've got at least 5 or 6 people that are planning on being here.
I might show up for that as well. I know
That's
Zam is supposed to come back, and you
Yeah,
won't see
Zam will
me
be back,
again.
and we might have a guest appearance from Xanta. So
Yes,
um,
yes. So
as
keep
long
an
as
eye
that big
out.
fat check clears for his
Oh
bonus.
yes, oh yes. You know me. It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
So
So
So yeah, so I mean, it's kind of a fun thing, year end award we're gonna have. I mean, we are here at NerdTube, we are gonna be doing our voting for the best and worst stuff, best new show, best returning show, worst best worst movie, best worst yada yada, so on and so forth. So we'll have all of that. So join us in the chat because we would love to have the interaction and the fun with all of the chat. So anyway, that's a little bit of my advertisement.
okay, okay. And as I just take my hands off the mouse here, but I'm gonna let you close it off. I just like to remind people that tomorrow we're going to be talking about Star Trek Prodigy, the penultimate episode, and we will also be joined hopefully by Jim Boone, who is a big Star Trek fan. He's just big in general. And on Friday, we're going to be talking National Treasure, Age of History, Part 3. So please join us for that as well as anything else that might come out. I recently did a review of Avatar 2 Electric Boogaloo, and I have to tell you, Chito, I didn't mind it. Maybe you know why people were walking out? Because there were some scenes, in my opinion, that was just so hard to watch that people couldn't handle it and they walked out. It's
A lot of
disturbing.
people were just a lot of those people were just saying they were bored.
Really?
Hmm.
Really? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I did look at my watch a couple of times. It is 3 hours. Don't get me wrong, but I liked it. I did. Like, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. The reason being, it didn't reinvent the wheel, but my God, Chito, it is so beautiful to watch. You forget.
That's
You know,
all it
when you,
has. Is it
no, but no, but Chito, no,
imagery?
Chito, no, but Chito, it's more than that now because the special effects have come so far now that they don't look like special effects anymore. They look real. You know, like when you're watching stuff, there are special effects. Not this. This looks as real as it can be. We're talking about these alien creatures that have so much to them and the life around them as well, the world they're inhabiting. They look like real world. It's amazing. It's a feast for your eyes. It really is, Tito.
Okay.
And the story itself is not anything new. That's for sure. It's very similar, in my opinion, to the first movie. In the first film, Jake he goes to the forest. In this film, they end up reallocating and going to a water tribe, and the people in the water tribe are almost like they're like a different race of Navi and all of that. Like the Navi we were following in the first movie, they're more like Native Americans, while this water tribe they're more like the Maoris and and Islanders, Fijians, Samoans, that sort of type of people, with the tattoos and all of that, and they're sort of, but they're still a different race of Navi as well, a different types of people, and it's really good, but they're kind of repeating some of the story beats of the first movie, but this time Jake has a family. He's got kids and all of that, so there's more to it, and the family stepped to the front, and Jake himself, because he's a father, he's a lot more grounded than he was in the first movie where he was just a jarhead, you know. So it's okay. It's okay. It's not that bad. I don't think it
I
deserves.
watched your review. It still didn't make me want to watch it.
No, fair enough. I don't think it's that bad. When it comes on Disney Plus, I think it's worth a shot.
Okay.
Definitely. But okay. So yeah, join us for so like I said, I have a review for that. Tears the King comes out on Monday, and the Circle of Life begins again. So yeah, remember, sign up to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. It's only a couple more days of me before I fuck off for another year. So make sure you get the most out of me because I'm Santa Claus, and nobody does it better than me. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. Have a very Merry Christmas, my friends.